Welcome to my podcast. My name is Karina. I come to you from the Pacific Northwest where I live with my partner, our 2 kitties, and 2 adopted Mustangs. Information about the Wild Horse Adoption Program will be in the episode description box. This podcast covers knitting projects, my horsemanship journey, and my other passions like vegetable gardening and bicycling. If you're new here, I hope you find the content interesting. If you're a returning viewer, it's always great to have old friends. The format of this channel typically includes musings on an early walk to the barn to feed the horses, then knitting content, some catch up on the horsemanship journey, and finally more musings or maybe a little bicycling footage if I was lucky enough to get out. Enjoy, and I hope to see you soon. Good morning, everyone. Today is January, must be the 24th. It's Friday. I am going out to feed the horses. So if you saw my video last week, you will be aware that I bunged up my shoulder. In fact, I have my sling on. I have been able to feed my horses on my own and care for them since Tuesday. So I saw the orthopedic surgeon on Monday and he said it was okay to let pain be my guide. As you can see, things are awkward. Even, I'm holding the camera with my right hand, but I can really only drape the jacket over my shoulder. So, and it's been really cold here, so I have to carry a bucket with the horse's feed in it as well. So hopefully this isn't too wiggly as I do this. The other difficulty I have is I can't really wear boots because I pulled my hamstring and it's really painful to take off boots. So I'm wearing shoes, and let me turn you around. Hopefully you can see this. You can see the frosty truck. It is about 7:30 in the morning, and so we are gaining some daylight. That is pretty cool. We've had a long cold spell. I'm not getting my phone to operate. Maybe it's because it's upside down. So sorry about the whole wiggly thing. Okay. We're good. Oops. Okay, walk out to the barn. So I've been able to take care of the horses. They have been really on vacation. Which I'm sure is fine with them. I kind of feel like Bragi may be reverting a little bit, just in being a little more skittish and not quite as responsible for his emotions, since I haven't been able to really separate them. I mean, I do make them go in their own separate stalls when I feed grain, and they're very good about that. But Bragi won't stay in his stall. He just immediately rushes back to Odin. And that's just going to have to be the way it is until I get going on my shoulder. I will talk about my hamstring a little bit. I went to a physical therapist on Monday, and he gave me some exercises, and it has improved a lot. I hardly limp. And I'm able to go up and down stairs fairly normally and walk up this hill. It's really putting on the boots that is difficult. So just back to the horses for a little bit. Speaking of them, there they are. Hi, horses. Probably chewing on bark. Tree over there, which I don't love. But I just can't really control everything. My trainer is coming today to work with Bragi on the trailer. She's just going to have to do everything since I am one-armed, essentially. And I think that will be just fine with her. So, I'm at the barn. I'm going to get to feeding. I could show you how I'm managing the hay with just one hand, but I use that hay cart as, just to kind of lift it up, and then I use the strings on the hay bags to just kind of leverage it around these. So, yeah, I just kind of leverage it around, and that works out pretty good. So that is all I am going to share for now. I will join you again for the knitting, and I do have a finished object. Hi everyone, welcome to the knitting and chit chat portion of my podcast. You might have noticed that I've changed things up with the introduction. At least I hope I did. We'll see if that works during editing. Other than that, I don't foresee any other changes in this podcast for now, unless I am inspired by something, I suppose. The first thing I want you to notice is not only my sling, which I talked about on the walk out to the barn, and I think you all already saw that. There's Harley right here, by the way. I got my hair cut. So if you have been here before, you probably know that my hair was long enough for me to wear in a braid or a ponytail, but since my arm has been in a sling and I don't have use of this arm yet until there's some sort of remediation, which I don't know the status of that yet, it was just difficult for me to manage. I mean, Randy tried to braid my hair, and he just really couldn't do it. So, and it was hard to wash with just one hand. So I got my hair cut on Wednesday. I'm really happy with it. It's long enough that, I'll be able to put it in a ponytail again if I want to, but it's short enough that it just doesn't get in my way. And I really like that. Since I'm on the subject of my shoulder, I'll just talk a little bit about the status of it. I saw the shoulder doctor on Monday, and he ordered an MRI because he suspects I have a torn rotator cuff. I hope he's wrong, because I don't want surgery. However, I can't lift up this arm. I can kind of pull it back, more or less the same range of motion going backward. It's a little bit painful to put my hands behind my back, so I don't do it. But I can't lift it out to the side like I can this arm, or lift it up. I have pretty good range of motion with my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, by the way. I just have I can just barely move this one kind of forward and sideways. And if I move it too much in either direction, it really hurts. So I don't do that. I had the MRI on Thursday, and I have an appointment on February 3rd, I think. It's the first Monday in February to go over those results and see what next steps are. I mentioned that I went to physical therapy for my hamstring. I am going to talk to my physical therapist about anything that I can do for a potentially torn rotator cuff. I got the results back. a physician had read the MRI, and I get the results through my chart. I don't know if that's something that's common in your healthcare system, but we have the my chart system, and I can read it. Of course, a lot of it doesn't mean anything to me, but I saw at least what I think it was a partial tear. So we will see. In the meantime, I mean, I'm getting along okay. I can't really drive very far. I can drive myself to my doctor's appointments because they are, 10 to 15 minutes away. So I'm okay with that. But like driving down to work is just really not a possibility right now, just being one-handed. I do let my arm out of the sling periodically, and I do that when I drive, just, in case of emergency. But like operating the controls of my car, which normally are right hand, I have to reach over and do things like to shift into drive and stuff like that. So I'm still just really learning how to use this hand, and it's pretty functional on many things. I can't use scissors though, like opening a bale of hay. I have to use my little T-Rex arm to operate scissors. Typing work, it has been slow, so I've learned to use the talk to text feature on the Word or the email program. We use Microsoft, so I've been learning how to use the talk to text feature and type one-handed. And then when I get really impatient, I kind of lean forward and type two-handed, which is very taxing. So things are just taking me a lot longer to do things. And that's just going to be the way it is for a while. And I expect that I probably won't be fully functional again until April. And I hope that I am fully functional at that point. Shall we get on to the knitting? So let me show you this scarf. This is one that I knit quite a while ago. It came from a kit. So I believe it was 2 balls of yarn, probably 25, 50 grams each maybe. So there was this like kind of dark brown colored, and then it could have been just one with these different types of fibers in there. So it's almost kind of like I kind of want to call it a junkyard. I mean, it's kind of cool the way it is. And then it's just a typical shawl shape it's long and skinny with a pointed part. And then I believe it was a picot edge bind up. So I've had this for quite a long time, and I wear it sometimes, especially with this vest, because it seems to match really well. So that's what I'm wearing. I'm also wearing hand knit socks because they are easy to get on and off my feet as my hamstring continues to heal. I'm going to have a sip of tea here and just talk about some of my other works in progress. First of all, I want to talk about this. I'm not sure just what fell out of my basket there. I want to talk about this flock of flamingos. I think I talked about it last time. I probably didn't show it. I haven't decided what I want to do yet, but I am most likely going to frog it. I don't think the colors work that well together, so I don't love it. So if you don't love it, you got to frog it. At least that's my point of view. So that yarn will just go back in my stash as something else. So that is that. I'll take that off my project list. Finished object in a bag made by my mom, a very nice quilted bag with a zipper. So I finished my Scrappy socks. One of the happy discoveries that I have is that I can still knit. So I finished my Scrappy socks. They don't look too scrappy, mostly because the socks are made out of the remainder of a ball of yarn by Freckled Whimsey. I don't remember what this colorway is, and it would be kind of amazing if I had the Nope, I don't have the label in here. So, self-striping yarn by Freckled Whimsey. I made a pair of fairground socks. So the cuffs are really pretty scrappy. They're a little bit different. And then the heels are made out of a mini, from Row 1 mini subscription I got for a while. So super fun. I do have a little bit of leftover yarn, so let me share that with you and what the fate of this yarn is. So the main color, this here, there we go, is not very much. So I am going to put that in a magic knot ball that I don't know what I'm going to do with that magic knot ball yet. There's only 4 grams of this mini left. So not enough to put in my Coziest Memories blanket. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe just more scraps for now until it's like 1 or 2 grams. Or use it all up. So another pair of scrappy socks. The needles I use are Chagu red lace. I use magic loop. These are size 0, which is 2 millimeter. And the number of stitches, this is a K. Jones pattern. It's all is calm, so it's a 6-row repeat. Pretty easy to memorize. And just heel, flap, and gusset as usual. And the cast on I did was 60 stitches. So I can put these in my sock drawer now. And then the next pair of socks I cast on I think are going to be for Valenvent, and I'm waiting for a skein of yarn from Woolen Woman box. So I did a little retail therapy while I was just really feeling helpless about my arm. So I bought, I think I did the 3-month yarn box subscription. So, and I believe it comes with a yarn bag or a project bag. So I will have my fill of project bags since my mom often makes me some great project bags. And I'll show you more of those here in a moment. I was trying to think of what else that I bought that was retail therapy. I can't think of anything right now, but I feel like I bought a few things. Another works in progress that you have seen before is this poncho. So I think last week I said it was too heavy for my arm, but it's really not. So I think it was too heavy for my brain to really think about it, even though I have the Colorwork part of it done. So hopefully, yeah, you can see the owls in the Colorwork part. And then I just finished out the brown skein in this stripe. So this brown and this, which is truffle colorway, and this pale cream colored, which I'm having trouble showing you, is fromage. They are from a local sheep farmer is what I'm trying to say. And the gray is a commercial yarn. It is a Patton's worsted. So I'm going to finish out the bottom of the poncho in the remainder of the Patton's worsted. I have 48 grams left. So each, I weighed my yarn between rows, and each row takes 4 grams. So I have a total of 12 rows left. So I'm going to do 11 and save for the bind off. Hopefully I won't be playing yarn chicken too badly. I think I do have a very small scrap in here if necessary, but I'm hoping it's not necessary. So the poncho comes from, and I think I'm using US size 10 needles for these, although I could look at the pattern. Yep, US size 10. The poncho is from this book, 24 Ponchos. My sister gave this to me a while ago, and this is the first poncho I have knit out of it. I will likely knit more because I love ponchos. I mean, I'm just looking at this one on the back. The blue one with the buttons. I think that's really cute. I kind of like the white one too. The red one's more of it's cabled and it's more of a shrug. So not sure about that. Let's see. I could make that for someone else though. So it's the Icelandic poncho, and I substituted the diamond color work for the owls which came out of a Pacific Knits doodle book of patterns. So that's how I did that. And I haven't tried it on yet. It's a poncho. It's going to fit. So and the intent of this is really to use it a lot outside while I'm riding. Hopefully I'll get to ride again someday. I will. I know I will. Once my hamstring heals up, I feel like I should be able to ride Odin one-handed and he'll be okay. So it's just, the hard part is going to be getting myself in the saddle one-handed. He stands still very nicely, so I'm not concerned about that at all. And as long as I'm riding with people who are just willing to walk, I think it's going to be totally fine. So that was so I talked about with frog, an item I'm going to frog, a finished object, and a work in progress. And I have another work in progress. And this is the blanket that I'm working on. I have another work in progress that I'll talk about here in a minute, but my mom made this bag, and since Herbert, the other kitty cat, is a yarn murderer, although Harley can sometimes steal yarn, I had it all cinched up like that so he can't steal it. So this is a really big bag, which is going to be awesome for this blanket. I'm thinking, and this is the Coziest Memories blanket by Kemper Ray. It's a free pattern. Each square takes, I think, about 5 grams. So I am on, I don't remember where I was last time, and I'm probably showing you the wrong side. I'm not sure. So I started here, and then I weaved in the ends after I did the 4th one square, and now I finished the 3 more squares, so I've got 1 more to go, and then I'll sew in those ends. I am showing you the wrong side, but this side has all the strings on it, so maybe this is just a better one to show. So I haven't picked out the scraps that I'm going to use for the next one. The ones that are striping, this is an advent by Polka Dot Creek. I think it was a Halloween advent. And these, I think this might have been part of the advent. This is a row one, and this one's a row one also. This was, the red's a leftover hand-painted yarn. I have socks made out of them. In fact, the socks I'm wearing are made out of those, and I think this is a contrast color from a Freckled Whimsey set. So that is that. That's just working on that. So I may have the poncho done by next week. I expect I'll have the poncho done by next week when I record, and that'll be a finished object. So the other project I have on the needles that I started, I cast on right before I hurt my arm, and it is the Briocherie sweater. So if you go back a couple episodes, you will see that. I had just cast it on and hurt myself, and apparently left it somewhere that Herbert could get to it, because when we got back from the ER, Herbert, Harley probably participated. They had a good time stringing that yarn all over the house. So imagine I come home a little bit dejected and tired, maybe a whole lot dejected and tired, and I see my project strewn all over the house. Actually, I had to cut the yarn because we could not figure out how they got through some of the table legs, unless that was Harley. Harley's small enough to do that. Herbert is not. One thing I'm thinking about, and let me know if it matters to you one way or another. So I was thinking about maybe doing the blanket update maybe once per month, because it may not be that interesting to have 4 squares at a time, which is roughly what I can get done in a week because of the other projects I'm working on. So maybe doing that once a month. And then I was kind of thinking about doing the horsemanship catch up, maybe more a horsemanship focused catch up once a month. But on the other hand, I kind of like to just keep things present. So I may just keep the format as is. I don't have a horsemanship update for you any more than beyond what I talked about on the walk out to the barn this morning. So like I said, my trainer's coming today, and when I record next time, hopefully I'll be able to go over that. And I don't know that there's really much I can do with Bragi in the meantime. I am just trying to help him get his attention when he doesn't have his attention, and that's pretty easy. He's pretty good at that. So I could work on some targeting games. I'm hoping this week to start working Odin in the round pen a little bit, since I have a lot more comfort. It's way easier for me to get out to the barn now since my hamstring is healing up very nicely. So, you know, I may be able to do some work with him out in the round pen. That is all I have for now. I hope you are all doing well, and that I'm trying to have a positive outlook, and we'll see what we see is going to happen. I've heard some disturbing events already, kind of in the community about immigrants, or maybe suspected immigrants, and that concerns me. I have also heard some very positive social media posts, or read positive social media posts from some of the local police departments that are going to continue to support the community where they can. You know, I live in the Pacific Northwest in the Puget Sound area. There is a tremendous amount of diversity, and a rich cultural, what's the word I want to use for that? I was going to say heritage. I mean, I think that's accurate. I mean, some of the immigrants are certainly more recent than some that have been around here for a century or more. But there's a lot of richness that comes with cultural diversity. And, you know, I would like to continue to see the Puget Sound embrace that. And my camera just clicked off. Maybe it doesn't like this particular topic. That's all I'm really going to say about that. I just want to end this in a nice place. Just about building bridges with our neighbors, and continue to look for the helpers, as Mr. Rogers would have said. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to be a helper. I don't have a lot of capacity right now, but eventually I will, and I can always be an open mind and confident in what I have to offer, and be accepting when I make mistakes. So that's my goal for this week, and I hope you have some good goals for yourself that are positive for you and your community. Take care, everyone.